Welcome to the place where we learn about and learn from the leaders in our field who are powering human creativity. I am Aaron Dworkin, and this is Arts Engines. Thanks again for joining me here on Arts Engines. Today's guest is Charles Letourneau, who serves as Festival Napa Valley Vice President and Director of Artistic Planning. Charles, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Aaron. Pleasure to be here.
So it is so wonderful to have you on the show. I am deeply honored to not only be able to call you a colleague, but a friend, and have just been able to see the impact of your work for many, many years, which we'll talk all about. But I thought it might be good for everyone and for our audience if we kind of kick things off where you could just kind of share the overview of Festival Napa Valley and kind of what's incorporated in the programming.
Sure. Well, I had the great honor and pleasure of being one of the co-founders of Festival Napa Valley back in 2006. So it's our 17th season. And we used to call it the 10 best days of summer, but actually it's expanded now to almost 3 weeks. So we're not exactly sure what we should call it at this point, but it's definitely the best days of summer out in Napa Valley. And it is at this point a rather large scale celebration of the arts and of the art of living well. So it brings together, obviously, the best that Napa Valley has to offer, the arguably best wine and food in North America, together with the best performing arts. And we started quite modestly the first year, scaling our ambitions and our budget with some, things that we could afford to do. And now, fast forward 17 years later, we are presenting I think it's about a dozen chamber music concerts. We are doing full symphony orchestra concerts. We are producing a ballet. We are producing a fully staged opera. We have jazz. We have Carrie Underwood as our headliner for our gala. And it is, we run two full-fledged summer academies for college-aged students. So we have an orchestral academy and we have a vocal academy. So it's like I said, it's turned into quite a massive project. But we take over Napa for almost 3 weeks and present multiple events every day. And it's really it's been a labor of love, and I think something that brings a lot of pleasure to a lot of people.
Well, it's extraordinary. And I have to share with our audience, I have had the wonderful benefit of being able to see this impact firsthand. Sphinx has been able to partner with Festival Napa Valley. We'll talk about that in just a second. But also, I do have to share that one of my favorite moments was sitting on, and I wish I remembered the location, but where we were sitting, I think almost on a rooftop, sharing an amazing brunch. And it was in that moment that I was also just reliving my early childhood, because Alexis Gerlach, who of course is your wife, was the first person I played chamber music with and grew up with in New York, as we lived across from Rockefeller. And it was just an extraordinary experience that actually really built the foundation of my appreciation of chamber music for my entire life. It was such an amazing way to make music. But it was really just one of those amazing moments that I think is repeated often in this kind of context of the arts in such an extraordinary location.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I thought we should definitely mention on this call that you and I probably have the longest relationship of any of your guests that you've had on your show. And that, Alexis, my wife, talks about you all the time and how she used to see you every single day. And whether it was playing basketball or it was reading books together or playing chamber music, it also is her was also her first experiences in playing chamber music. And I don't know if you wanted, but I found this photo that I could screen share if you
Oh
would allow
my,
that.
oh my,
Yeah,
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 sure.
going way back. So let's see if we can find that photo here. Um, and there we are.
Wow, wow. So my hair is way less these days. But oh my gosh, and the memories, right, are just
Yeah,
it's so amazing. And of course, for our audience, Alexis Gerlach is just one of the leading cellists in the country, if not the world. Extraordinary musician, and has been doing just amazing artistic things her entire career. And so that is so amazing.
yeah.
That is awesome. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that,
So yeah,
Charlie.
it's so amazing to be able to go back and see that and realizing that you and I knew each other before Sphinx, and I remember when we were meeting in New York and you were talking about this idea that you had to start Sphinx. So anyway, I feel honored to have been there, since the beginning, and then when we were able to bring the Sphinx Symphony to Festival Napa Valley. And I believe that is still the only time that the full Sphinx Symphony has gone on tour. I believe it still is the only time. And we also brought the Virtuosi. And then, of course, we've had a permanent relationship with Sphinx, bringing Sphinx competition winners and associated artists every year. So last year we had Amarin Olmeida, and this year we have 3 Sphinx artists who are coming to the festival. So every year we have a number of them, and we have Harper and Cole Randolph who are coming this year, and Kyle Dixon, who is our Joel Revson conducting fellow, who will be in residence for the entire festival, conducting our opening night and our closing night. So it's just been really wonderful to have this longstanding relationship, and I have to say we've had a tremendous amount of fun in the process. So yes, big point of pride for us. And the other important thing that I wanted to mention is that sometimes people think of Napa Valley fancy dinners, expensive wines. Really, our goal is to make this festival our gift to the community. So at this point, most of our concerts are free to the public, and those that are not free, we have a flat $35 ticket price to attend anything. So you can come to any Festival Napa Valley concert and you can hear all the greatest artists. We've had Joshua Bell a number of times and Renee Fleming, and all rising stars and wonderful artists. And it won't cost you more than $35. So there's really there isn't a barrier to attending our events, and that I think is really the most important guiding principle of what we have. And then the other important guiding principle is our mission to be the leader in arts education in the area. I don't have to tell you, most schools have greatly curtailed or eliminated their arts programs, and we have stepped up and we are presenting educational programs all year round to schools. We work with the Boys and Girls Club, and we have our Novak Concert for Kids that we serve thousands and thousands of kids every year. We have a summer camp for kids through the Boys and Girls Club. So that I would say is the other pillar of what we do, and very, very important. So yes, it is about the fine wines and the wonderful dinners and about bringing the great artists, but it is also about being a fundamental part of the community. And for me, the biggest compliment and the biggest testimonial is when people come to me, and that happens really regularly. People say, "You are the highlight of my year." And when I hear that, I'm thinking we're really doing something right. So we've developed an extremely loyal audience. We were on a team call today, worried that all our events are selling out, and which is a nice problem to have, but it is actually becoming stressful because we're a month out and many events are already sold out, which means that people are really embracing what we do. And for me, as an arts person and arts administrator, I'm thinking that could not be a bigger success. So we're very proud of what we're doing.
It is just amazing, and obviously a testament to your leadership. And I wanted to kind of just talk about that. As you know, we're a show kind of really all about the arts administrative leadership, and you literally, even in addition to Festival Napa Valley, you've founded or led festivals literally around the world, and obviously managed and advocated for artists. And I'm just wondering, as you think about this work and you think about the successes that you've had, especially at Festival Napa Valley, are there any key components that you would share with our audience, with those out there who are thinking about either launching a festival associated with their arts institution, or already have some, or any of this type of programming, that as an administrator, are there a couple of, or one or two things that you have found, you know what? We did this, and this is why we're selling out. We did this, and this is why we really are embedded and embraced and supported by the community. Is there anything that kind of comes to mind?
I don't think there's any single path or any single solution to any of this. I mean, every event is different, every place is different. But I would say for me, the one guiding principle is that whatever we put on stage has to be the best. And people may or may not know what you're presenting. They may not know the artist names. But if you have picked the best, whether it's the best dancers, the best singers, the best instrumentalists, people will know and they will come back. So as long as what you are presenting is the best that you can present, people will trust you and they will come back. So we are at the point now where I think we have some shows that are selling out before we really announce what we're presenting, because people have such trust that they will love what we are bringing. So, and that's the intangible, the part that you can't explain, and the part that you and I as administrators, that's our expertise. We live in this world day in and day out, and we've picked the winners, and that's our job. And we all know that there are some concerts that are great. There are some concerts that are less great. If you go to a great concert, it will change your life. And so that's our job, and then everything else will flow from that.
Yeah, I love that. And kind of that all of these mechanics that we work on, and the marketing and the promotion and the logistics and the fundraising and all of that, it needs the core of what it is all about, which ultimately is great art and connecting that with the community. And I loved how you shared about trust.
Yes.
And how you build that with your community. And of course, the inclusiveness of Festival Napa Valley, and the availability for so many in the community to be able to attend without those finances being a barrier. Unfortunately, we are just about out of time, but I always like to ask of all my guests, this work, while it's going phenomenally well and it's such a big success, there's got to be tough days, there's got to be challenges. So as a leader, as an arts leader, are there mechanisms, any key mechanisms that you use when there are just immense hurdles, obstacles? Where do you turn to, either for strength and or just for being able to sustain through some of the toughest times?
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because we talk about that a lot as a team. And what I'd like to tell people is, at the end of the day, no one's going to die. This is not brain surgery. Putting things in perspective. This is the arts. Someone may play a wrong note. Someone might be late for a concert, but we don't have truly, huge problems. So yes, it is stressful. In enormous number of moving parts every day, and artist personalities and people's personalities and finances and all of that. But at the end of the day, we're only doing good. We're making so many people happy, and nothing will truly go bad, So keep things in perspective. Remember what you're doing and what you're doing for the community, and what people are getting out of it. And people don't know what's happening behind the curtain. That's okay. What happens behind the curtain stays behind the curtain. The only thing that matters is what's on stage. People are happy, standing ovation at the end, and all the rest is unimportant.
Charles Letourneau, you truly are one of the arts engines who is powering human creativity in our world. Thank you so much for everything that you do, for your friendship, and it has just been wonderful having you on the show.
Thank you, Aaron.